barring. So we are going to make another dreadlock hairstyle. Let's say this one, this dreadlock hairstyle, we're going to have like different layers. The first layer is the dreadlock itself. The second layer is this supporting hair, and the third layer is the frizz hair. This frizz hair we did into previous lessons, and the fourth layer is this hairstyle, baby hair. So let's continue. I'll disable this layer and I'll add a new layer called DreadLocks Hairstyle number 3. After so, I'll enable my scalp. Then let me copy this dreadlock name, select the scalp, Shift A to add curve object, empty curve object. Here it is added. Then I'll paste the name DreadLock Hairstyle 3. After doing, I'll go into scope mode, Shift tab, go into scope. I need to add this hair guide. So I'll use density and enable, let me enable X mirror. Now I want first to add this down, then I'll comb them down. So I'll do like this from this. After adding them, I'll use a comb brush and I'll put them down. So after combing like this, I'll disable them. Then I'll use a density again. I'll add this top one. Remember, here I need to disable shape. So come to curve and disable this shape. So I'll add. And after adding them, I need to comb them like this. You know, here there is a bend, so I'll go into object mode and here I'll add a bend. So I'll come Shift A, I'll add a torus. Let me look for torus. Here it is. I'll scale it down like so. I need to put it here. So I'll scale it again a little bit. Yeah, this is enough. I'll control apply everything. So I'll go into scope mode and I put this line into there. After they enter the bend, here I'll split them apart. And another thing that I see here, we have a lot of them. The guard are too many, so we can use the density. Then I'll try to reduce them or increase it to 0.3, let's say. Then I'll enable, let me enable shape, interpret shape. You see now we get few of them. I think this is enough. The next step that we'll do, as usual, come to modifier panel. Then in our modifier panel, we add a new geometry node. First, let's copy this name. I'll add a new geometry node. Need to be above the surface. New. I'll paste the name. I'll enable fake user. We'll add curve profile. Shift A, come to right. Curve profile. I'll drop it here. Need to be 0.01. After curve profile, we add a duplicate. Shift A, come to generation, duplicate. We'll reduce the duplicate to 0.005, and we'll increase the amount, duplicate amount to 100, and enable even thickness. The another thing that we'll do, we need to attach this, the duplicate, onto the surface. So use Shift A, come to utility, attach hair curve to surface. Here it is. We select our surface, it's hair scalp, and then we select our hair scalp. Come here, we need to copy this UV name. After that, we'll select our hair, and then in here in attach hair curve to surface, with into UV name, search for name the attribute. You drop, paste the name here. See now they've been attached. So this is with and this is without. But I'll increase the blend to 0.5. Somewhere here. 0.1. And another thing, previous ways we only used a freeze node. Here we'll use a curl node and a freeze node. So shift A, come to curl node, and we increase the subdivision to 2. We'll reduce the radius here, radius, curl radius. Before we reduce, we'll need to increase the frequency. You see the frequency. So from the frequency, we'll reduce the radius 0.01, still big, 0.05, maybe 0.004. So the next step, we'll crank up the frequency. And what if we increase the random 0.5? So after doing so, we come to freeze. We need to add a new node. Come to Shift A, come to hair and deformation, freeze. Remember to put on shape 0.01 because we want our freeze to start sharp from the root. Hereafter, we'll reduce the distance to 0.002. Yes, you see, 0.02 is enough, and the disable cumulative offset. And let's reduce the radius here to 0.2. Yes, 0.2 is enough. And the next thing that we can do, we can crank up the duplicate amount to 500. Here it is. And we still notice the curl here. So I'll decrease the random to 0.75. So this is, we have already added this dreadlock. The next step, let me disable the hair scalp and add material. Shift material hair. So next step, we need to add this supporting. So as I said, we duplicate this node from here. We select all of these, attach, and freeze. Shift D, Y, and I connect it here. I connect it here, and it here. We need to cut this curve to reach this point, only this point. So I'll use a trim curve, a trim node, come to hair, then deformation, trim hair curve, drop it here. I'll decrease the length. Remember to reduce first the amount here, let's say to 100. Then I'll trim the hair. Yeah, this is enough, 0.02. The next thing that I'll do, I need to enable cumulative offset, and on duplicate here, I'll increase the radius a little bit, 0.1. Let's increase the length, the trim amount to 0.03. Yes, this is enough. Next thing, remember, we can add here. Let's fill this gap. Can use add and then interpret everything. Shape, I want to add, disable X mirror here. What next you need, because this, you see, it has some sort of cramp. So after the freeze, we can cramp it a little bit. We come to hair, then guides, cramp. Let's cramp it, and we can increase the shape to 0.7. Yes, 0.7 is enough. Then we can spread a tip a little bit, 0.01 or 0.05. So this is what we get. Another thing, you see, this supporting here have a black material, so you can shift A, look, assign it a different material in here. So shift A, come to search for material, or you can search here material, set material. You can drop it here, it will have a different material. Let's look here, find a new material. So we'll add a new material here, hair support. And you can drop it here, hair support. So after creating this support here, we need to put another node, join geometry, join geometry. We drop it here, then we'll add a DreadLock on top. What if we increase a support a little bit, its radius too much, like 3. Yeah, I think 3 is enough. Then what next? We can increase the duplicate amount to 300. Yes, so this is enough. And another thing that we can do here on the clamp, let's say put this clamp before freeze. After the trim, and I'll enable preserve length. The next step, we need to create freeze hair. As usual, we start from here. Let me disable here, and from here I need a resample node. So look for Shift A, resample. So the resample node are connected to output, and here in the resample node I need to put this curved points. So I set to curve to points. Curve to points, here it is. You see, now we get our points, and after curve to points, the next thing I need to instance on point. So Shift A, instance on point, come to instance on points. What I need to instance is the line here. So Shift A, I look for curve primitive, then I'll choose to curve line here. I connect a curve line to instance here, and I'll try to reduce. Thereafter, you see we have curve line here, but remember this curve line, it have just a tip and root, so we'll need to resample it again. Shift D, I copy this, and I'll put only 5 points here. And I'm saying we need to use our freeze node here. Look for freeze. I'll duplicate this freeze and I'll drop it here. So you see now this freeze node does not work. So before the freeze, we need to realize. The realize is like we apply this previous old node here and we start afresh. So I Shift A, come to instance, then I'll look for realize instance. I'll drop it here. You see now the freeze starts to work. And here I'll enable cumulative offset, and I'll increase a little bit like so. And the next thing here, I'll search for, come Shift A, hair, come to right, set hair curve. I'll set a hair curve here, and I'll put 0.01, and I'll connect it to join geometry. You see now this is our fly way. So here we can reduce it a little bit, 0.001, maybe 0.005. You see we have a lot of them here. I need to reduce its length. So what if we reduce the length here, here on curve line to 0.1, and what if we increase, because I see there just few of them, what if we increase it to 20, and let me disable and only concentrate on this flyaway hair. I need to reduce its length a little bit, so 0.05. And here on, we need to enable curve points rotation to here rotation. And if we enable its rotation, let's see this all it, and let's increase its length a little bit. So we got few of them here. And what if I disable its rotation? Yes, and I can clap them a little bit here, like 7. And the next thing that I can do, because we don't want freeze the entire dreadlock, so I can even use a delete node here. So Shift A, come to geometry, operation, delete node, delete geometry. I drop it here, and I use the selection here, spline selection. I choose random value, and I increase the probability like so, and try different. Yes, this seed, let me increase it so that we can see it 0.1. And next, please cumulative offset off. I need to increase them here. The sample curved points, I need, let's say, 20 points, like so. And then here I need to put only 5 or 7. 7 is enough. And let's connect all of them. I don't see it. What if this Shift D, I will copy it to at the end. Right, this to this set here curve, I need to put this at the end. And the freeze will have the same material as the dreadlock. Next thing that I'll do, I want this to be going together like this. So come to scope, and let me try it, only select this one. Oh, let me put here to 100, and then I'll comb this like so, and I'll select this, and let me use slide. Let me use slide and slide it up a little bit. Then I'll comb it back like so. So this is enough. And then I'll go into object mode. So what if we disable this freeze? I want to see the difference. Maybe here we can return to 0.01, and here I can increase its length a little bit on curve line. Here, let me put 5. You'll see a lot of them here. Maybe 2. Yes, 2 is enough. And then let's play with the seed. Yes, that's few of them here. And then can reduce the distance, let's say like 2. 3, what about 3? So this is how you add a flyaway hair. So in this dreadlock hairstyle, we only used the curl and the freeze, but the previous one we used only the freeze. So as you can see here, there's some sort of curlness, coilness on the dreadlock. So next, I'll put them into frame, Control J. As usual, I'll put this dreadlock. Here it is support, Control J, dreadlock support, and here it is Control J, dreadlock flyaway hair, and you can change the color. So next step is to add this baby hair in front. So I select my scalp and Shift A, I add empty hair, I'll name it to baby dreadlocks baby hair, and I'll press the name here. So that I'll go into stroke mode and start to add this baby hair. So maybe I'll add it here. The length is too small, so I'll change the length to 0.5. Let's see. And add it again. Too big, so I'll change to 0.3. So this is now. And then I'll enable X Miller and start to comb this hair like this. Just here on the forehead. So here, like so. I'll add another one here. So the next step, I copy this name here. Come to object. I'll add a new geometry. I'll name it to dreadlock baby hair. It need to be above the surface. So here you can use curve profile. Come to hair, right, set curve profile 0.01. Another node we can use a duplicate. Shift A, generation duplicate, and we'll reduce the duplicate amount 0.005. And the amount of duplicate 10 is enough. The next thing that we need to do, we see our duplicate. So I think it's okay. We could use a attach curve to surface, but let leave on space as so. So another node that we can use, we'll use a freeze node. Come to deformation and freeze, and enable cumulative offset, and we'll reduce the length here to 0.005. Let's keep reducing to 0.001, and we'll reduce the shape here to 0.1. I think this is enough, and here 0.05. This is enough. The next node that we can use, we'll use a clamping. So Shift A, come to guides and use a clamp node. We can leave it as it is, or we can reduce the factor here. What if we reduce the factor? So you see what we get. So even here I can enable material to hair, and lastly I can disable this surface object, and in here in geometry node editor I can increase a little bit. Also I can select my dreadlock and select this one and push it backward a little bit. So let me reduce here to 50. Even here duplicate to 50. I want to slide it a little bit, that we don't have the sharp line here. Also I'll select this and I'll slide it back a little bit. Also I'll select this one, I'll slide it back. I'll select this, slide it back and up. Select this and this, slide them back. So I'll return it to 100. The duplicate amount, here it is 300. And the dreadlock amount to 300. So we have a set material issue. As you can see here, the first layer of our dreadlock, we applied a hair color dreadlock, and the support, dreadlock support, this one we applied hair support. The viewport of hair support is white, while the viewport of hair colored is black. So now we only see one color, which is black. The set material here, it does not work, and I put it first. You see, the material works, but the material that is applied on this layer overrides all other material, because I put it on first slot. But when I put it second, you see, we lose its color, its white color. So what I did, I disabled this dreadlock support and duplicated the entire hair guide. So let me open here, and I duplicated entire hair guide. On this, I only removed the first layer. I'll remove the dreadlock itself and the freeze layer. So I remained only with the dreadlock support. In dreadlock support, I changed the color, and here no need even to change the color, because on material we only have one material, which is hair support. So no need of even applying a set material in here. But I went on and made two layers in here in this support. The first layer is this, the root, and the second layer The second layer is this freeze hair, just to fill the entire hair scalp. So if you enable all of them and enable DreadLock Curl hairstyle, so we see now we have something which is good compared when the color only is black for entire dreadlock. So this is how we make DreadLock Curl hairstyle in Blender. So see you in the next lesson.